Let's welcome back in our panel here on the anchor desk in Florida, Javier Manjarres, the managing editor of the Shark Tank political blog, and joining us from Washington, D.C., our friend Ford O'Connell, the Republican strategist and chairman of the Civic Forum PAC. As we continue with our forum, Javier, interesting development in Chicago. Is that going to make a difference in the Illinois political race for governor? Could Bruce Rauner possibly pull it off? Get support in the inner city?
No, absolutely not. This is a few black Americans. I've been hearing this for years. They're right. Their black leadership, Barack Obama, Frederica Wilson here in Florida, and the Al Sharpton, all they've done is castigate other black Americans like Allen West and Clarence Thomas as being Uncle Toms and, and not being black enough for them. So, but there aren't enough of those black Americans to believe that. Majority of black Americans are all about the entitlements, and hence that's the Democratic Party. What they do is give them entitlements, so they're happy voting for them.
Well, it's interesting to hear this change, and yesterday we had former Congressman Michael Patrick Flanagan here, and he thinks it could make a difference in the Illinois race. Ford O'Connell, what say you about the governor's race in Illinois? Will enough African Americans desert the Democrats, as strange as it may sound, in Cook County and environs to give Bruce Rauner an edge?
Absolutely, and it's up to Bruce Rauner over the next several days to actually reach out to the black community. There were several black pastors in the south side of Chicago who actually asked Bruce Rauner to come and speak at their megachurch. So I'm telling you, Rauner actually has an opening, but this has less to do with Barack Obama than it has to do with Governor Quinn's failed policy. So Rauner could certainly win this race, and a margin of black voters towards him will really help.
But Ford, in general, this midterm is a referendum on President Obama, no?
Oh, without question. Nearly two-thirds of the country think the nation's heading in the wrong direction. 56% think the Obama economy's failed, and 62% of Americans lack confidence in President Obama's leadership. The Republicans found the right issue. This is a base election. They just have to keep their foot on the gas to win on Election Day.
Remember basics. The last word to you, Javier. 15 seconds.
I agree with him, but I don't think it's going to make much of a difference in Cook County. Yeah, there's a chance they'll bring out more black voters. And what do Republicans get, like 10% every time? I'm not sure of the number, but if they get 11,
we only need 15.
Well, if they get 15 to win, then hey, but I doubt they're going to get 15. And I don't mean to sound like a pessimist, and I'm Republican, but
well, you would say you'd be cautious about that working. Past performance, though, may not be indicative of future results. That sounds like a financial perspective. Gentlemen, we thank you for your time. And let's move along now to our Newsmax election team with a look at the race for the Senate down in Louisiana.
Democrats are in a precarious position. They can't lose any seats November 4th, or there's a chance the GOP could take over the Senate, something that hasn't happened in close to a decade. In Louisiana, Republican Representative Bill Cassidy hopes to be the one to swing that balance of power his party's way. He's after Democratic Senator Mary Landrieu's seat, a seat she's held since 1997. It's a challenge that's most likely going to keep the country in flux for weeks. Political analysts predict this race is headed to a runoff. That's because the Pelican State doesn't hold single-party primaries. Instead, it's a free-for-all on Election Day. There are 9 candidates for the Senate on Louisiana's ballot. If one doesn't take more than 50% of the vote, the race goes to a runoff, which wouldn't be held until December 6th. Most of the candidates aren't a factor, but Republican Rob Maness is. The Tea Party is rallying around him. Real Clear Politics says that while support is definitely giving Maness a boost in the polls, it's also making a runoff more likely. However, that matchup probably would be between Cassidy and Landrieu, with Cassidy favored to win.
And 2 polls taken this week show that a runoff will most likely be needed to decide the winner in Louisiana. We'll keep our eye on that jungle primary. For more on this, you can go to our parent website, Newsmax.com. Be sure to join us here on election night for special live coverage of the midterms You Decide 2014.